Talking to the spirits, Beoth, Kevin, and Archie were silent for a long time. Kevin's brain felt like an overheated engine. He was thinking so hard. This can't be happening. But Archie's real, and so is that broken window. Look, Kevin said at last. There's something going on, and I don't get it. It has to be some kind of magic. You're from Korea, but you just appeared here, out of nowhere, and you're speaking perfect English. He paused, then added slowly, I'm not sure I believe in magic. But if I did, I'd say that you came here by magic, so you have to go home that way, too. There is no doubt that magic is at work, Archie agreed. I do not fall when I am riding a tiger. This could only be the work of magical spirits. Likewise, my ability to speak another tongue nothing is beyond their power. But what is this Korea you speak of? Kevin frowned. Your kingdom. He pointed to Korea on the globe. Didn't you say you lived there? Archie shook his head. My kingdom is called Koguryo. I do not know any Korea. Koguryo? Maybe it was another way of saying Korea. But Kevin had never heard it before. Whatever it's called, we have to get you back there somehow, he said. Magic. What did he know about magic? Almost nothing. He'd seen a live magic show once, at somebody's birthday party. And there were magicians on TV sometimes, and magic stuff happened in books and movies and video games. But none of that seemed real, not the way Archie was real. Well, Kevin said at last, there are magic words like abracadabra and open sesame. Maybe if you said one of them, you would end up back in Korea. He couldn't help rolling his eyes. It sounded so stupid. Like something a little kid would believe. Abadabba, Archie said, raising his eyebrows. I do not think this is a spirit word. And sesame is a flavoring for food. Good food may seem like magic, but in reality it is the work of a skilled cook.
I do not know much about magic.
It is best left in the hands of the spirits, and the few who are trained in such arts. Kevin held his breath for a second, so he wouldn't groan yet again. So you weren't saying anything special or chanting anything when you were riding on the tiger? Archie shook his head.
No.
I was up in the mountains alone. I often go there, to clear my head of troublesome thoughts. It is peaceful, with only the animals for company. There are times when an animal can be a man's best friend. Since my youngest days, as I told you, I have always had a special fondness for animals and they for me. Kevin was half listening, but he was also still thinking about magic. An idea hit him funny. It really did feel like a light bulb had lit up inside his head, just like the comics. I should look up some stuff about Korean magic, he said. Maybe there's something that could give us a clue about what we should do. Archie wrinkled his brow. You wish to study magic? This is not a desirable occupation for a child, especially a male child. It is best left to the sorceresses. I'm not going to study it for a career, Kevin explained patiently. Just enough so maybe I can help you get back home. Very well then, Archie said with a nod. Kevin led the way downstairs. At the bottom of the stairwell, he flicked on the light switch for the living room.
Hi.
Archie gasped and put his hands over his eyes. Then he whirled, fled back up the stairs, and turned the corner at the top. The next thing Kevin saw was the tip of an arrow pointing at him from beyond the stairwell wall. Yikes, he squeaked, and instinctively he put his hands up over his head. You have one chance, Archie said, his voice cold as an icicle. I had thought you a friend, but a friend would know that an archer's eyes are precious beyond gold to him. Why did you attempt to blind me? To blind you? I didn't, Archer. I only turned on the light. I wasn't trying to blind you, honest, Kevin babbled. I'll show you again, okay? Don't shoot, please. I'm just going to turn the lights off and on again. Without taking his eyes from the deadly arrow, Kevin inched toward the light switch, his hand still raised. When he reached the wall with one hand, he started babbling again.
See? Off, on, off, on.
This little switch controls the lights. There are wires in the wall, and they go up to the ceiling and connect with those lights over the sofa. To his great relief, he saw the arrow lowered, followed by the reappearance of Archie at the top of the stairs. I was right, Kevin thought as his heart left his throat and returned to his chest. Wherever he comes from, there's no electricity. With Archie at his side, he walked through the living room. There were tons of things Archie could have asked about: the stereo, the TV set, even the wall clock. He was looking around wildly, but then he seemed to go into shock. His face went completely blank, and he pressed his lips together. It's all too much for him. He doesn't even know where to start asking. In the den, Kevin dragged an armchair next to the desk so Archie could sit and watch. Then he booted up the computer. While he waited, it came to him all at once how he could explain the computer. I know you don't think magic is suitable for kids like me, he said. But here in America, lots of kids get a little training in magic. He touched the monitor. This is sort of a magic box. It lets me talk to people who aren't here. Archie was listening with an expression of great interest. People who are not with you, like the spirits. You talk to the spirits through this box. Kevin couldn't help grinning. That's right. The spirits of the internet. The computer beeped its readiness. I'll show you. He clicked on the internet connection and typed Korean magic into the search engine box. I'm asking if the spirits know anything about Korean magic, he explained. The screen flashed and 3 listings came up. All 3 were for stores selling magician's equipment in Korea. Kevin shook his head. No good. This isn't what we need. Archie frowned. I think these are not very powerful spirits, if they know nothing of magic. That's not it, Kevin said. They're really powerful. It's just that I might have to ask them in a different way. You asked without proper respect. Sort of. Not exactly. Archie looked stern. You must apologize. It is very bad luck to anger the spirits. It was easier just to agree with him. Okay, I'm apologizing now, Kevin said hastily. He connected to the local library and typed in Korean magic again. A lot of listings for Korean came up, but nothing about magic. Have they accepted your apology? Archie asked, sounding worried. Kevin scrolled quickly down the list. Yes, it's fine, he said absently. Book after book about Korean history, there had to be something about magic somewhere. History. Kevin frowned and stopped scrolling. Could it be possible?
No, there was no way.
Then again, a strange man had suddenly appeared in his bedroom. Anything was possible. He turned to look at Archie. What did you say your name was? Your real name? What I mean is I would like permission to talk to the spirits using your real name. Archie nodded once and sat up straighter. Among my people I am known as Chumong, he said proudly. Kevin went back to the search engine. His fingers tingled with anticipation as he typed in Chumong. Don't get your hopes up, there probably won't be anything. 11 hits. They're probably just phone book listings or something like that. Kevin clicked on the first listing. It was an entry on ancient Korean history. He skimmed the page until he saw the name Chumong. The paragraph said that Chumong was a prince whose father had tried to kill him. Wow, Kevin said. That's you're right there. Archie frowned and leaned forward. I am there? Do not be foolish. I am here, not there. Kevin gritted his teeth and counted to 5 before he spoke. I didn't mean you, I meant your name. Theum, the spirits know you. Of course. Archie glared, looking almost insulted. Kevin resisted the urge to shake his head and kept reading. Born in 55 BC. Founded the Koguryo Kingdom in 37 BC. BC. Kevin whispered. He looked back and forth between the screen and Archie, his eyes wide. Archie wasn't just from Korea. He was from the past. Kevin was surprised that he wasn't more surprised. Well, not exactly, of course, it was incredible. Unbelievable, even. But it wasn't any more unbelievable than Archie showing up in the first place. Well, Archie said after a few moments, do the spirits tell you anything more? Kevin read the rest of the paragraph. It says here that you became king and changed your name to Tongmyong and founded a kingdom Koguryo. He glanced at Archie's simple white clothes. Not very king-like. He shrugged. Maybe that was what kings wore in those days. Archie sucked in his breath with a hissing sound and looked stern again. The spirits have revealed what I did not wish to tell you, he said.
Yes.
I took the name Tongmyong when I became king. But when I am out among the people, I prefer to use the name Chumong. Just as I wear simple dress when I am not in court ceremony. If you disclose my royal identity to anyone who is not a friend, I will put an arrow through his heart and yours. Kevin gulped. Archie was serious about this arrow stuff. I won't tell anyone, honest, he said. Archie thrust his chin out toward the computer. Are these spirits good or evil? Kevin hesitated. It's a university website. They're usually pretty reliable. Archie's face cleared. All is well, then. A good spirit would not have told you my royal name without some greater purpose. The article went on to say that Koguryo was one of the ancient kingdoms that eventually became Korea hundreds of years after Archie's time. That explained why Archie had never heard of Korea. Clicking on the other websites one by one, Kevin discovered that 4 were for different Chumongs, but 6 were about Archie. They all said pretty much the same thing, just a sentence or two about how he had founded Koguryo. Kevin sighed. He remembered what Mrs. Morris said at least once a week in technology class. The internet is nothing but a tool, she'd say. It won't do your thinking for you. He needed to know more. He needed to talk to somebody. Somebody who knew a lot about Korea and would let him ask questions. Not his parents. They'd been born here in America. And they hardly ever talked about Korea. If they did, it was modern stuff, things in the news, not what he needed to know. Maybe Aji and Ami could help him. Aji and Ami were his grandparents, his dad's parents. When Kevin was a baby, he hadn't been able to say Harabuji, the Korean word for grandfather. He'd said Aji instead, and it had stuck. Same with his grandma. Instead of Halmoni, Kevin called her Ami. Aji and Ami lived in Manly, about an hour and a half away by car. They'd lived there for years, but they were from Korea. They ate Korean food almost every day and had some Korean art in their house. Maybe they knew something about olden times. Kevin saw them at least once a month, and talk to them on the phone every week. He picked up the phone and hit speed dial 3. It rang 4 times before Aji answered. Hello. Hi, Aji, how are you? It's Kevin. Kevin, what a nice surprise,
Aji said.
At the same time, Archie was saying, I am very well, thank you. But you have already told me that your name is Kachbin. I have not forgotten. Also, I thought we agreed that Archie was not a suitable name for me. Kevin looked at Archie in irritation, then realization dawned. Oh, for crying out loud. He doesn't know what a phone is. He thinks I'm talking to him, not Archie. Aji, Kevin said, but I can't talk to you right now.
What?
Aji said. Then why did you call? If you are not speaking to me, then to whom are you speaking? Archie said. With Archie talking in one ear and Aji's voice in the other, Kevin felt as though he had no room in his head left for thinking. He clenched and unclenched his jaw, then spoke into the phone. Aji, hold on for just 1 second, okay? Sure thing, Kevin, Aji answered. Hold on to what? Archie said. Kevin put his hand over the mouthpiece. Archer, I am
not talking to
you. He spoke slowly, trying to force himself to be patient. I'm talking to my grandparents. Your grandparents? Archie leapt to his feet and looked around the room. No, Kevin said. Sheesh, the things he had to explain. They don't live here. I'm talking to them, through this. He held the phone out. It's called a telephone. It works well, sort of like the spirit box. I can talk to them even when they're not with me. Archie drew back a little, staring warily at the phone. Your world has much powerful magic, he said. It is wondrous indeed, but such power could be dangerous in the hands of an enemy. Yeah, well, I'm not talking to an enemy now, okay? I told you, it's my grandparents. Archie nodded. In that case. He bowed solemnly to the phone. Respectful greetings to your elders, he said. Thanks, Archer. They're bowing back to you. Well, I'm sure they would if they could see him. Now, just give me a minute, okay? He took his hand off the mouthpiece. Hi again, Aji.
Sorry about that.
It was, a bad connection. Kevin heard a click on the line. Ami had picked up the extension. Hi, Kevin, sweetie. We're coming to see you this weekend. Did your dad tell you? She asked. Of course not, Kevin wanted to answer. He never tells me anything. It was Kevin's mom who had told him. We'll have your birthday present with us, Ami continued. I'm sorry it's so late, but we wanted to bring it ourselves. That's okay, it's kind of nice to get a late present, Kevin said. You're such a sweet thing, Ami gushed. Kevin rolled his eyes. Well, I called because I'm working on this project. He didn't say it was for school. That would be a lie, but he knew that was what she'd think, and I need a little help. Of course, dear. We'll help if we can. It's a Korean history project. Do you know anything about a guy named Chumong? He lived a long time ago. He was some kind of king. Yes, Chumong, Aji said. He was supposed to be the greatest archer of all time. A spark of hope seemed to fly through the phone line right into Kevin's ear and brain. Aji, can you tell me anything more about him? Well, his mother was a bear, wasn't she? Ami said. A bear? Kevin said. No, Yobo. You're getting all mixed up, Aji said. The one with the bear mother was Tangun.
Oh.
That's right. Sorry.
Ami said.
How could anyone have a bear for a mother?
Kevin asked.
It's one of those old myths, Ami replied. There was a bear and a tiger, you see, and they made a bet about who could stay in a cave longer. At least I think that's what happened. Oh, dear, my memory's not what it used to be. Never mind, Ami, Kevin said hastily. It might take ages for her to remember the whole story. I mean, I'm sure it's interesting, but I need to know about Chumong. All right, dear. Chumong. Let's see. Wasn't he the one who founded Koguryo? Yeah, I know that already, Kevin said. But that's all. I can't seem to find anything more. I used to know one story about him, Aji said. I don't know if I can remember it all now. How about if I think about it and tell you when I see you this weekend? Aji, I have to finish this project. Could you tell me whatever you can remember? Well, it's something like a bunch of enemies were chasing him, and he escaped by crossing a river. But there wasn't any bridge or boat or anything. It was some kind of magic. Magic. Kevin gripped the receiver tighter. Well, it's just a story, of course.
Pause.
You know, your dad might know more about him. Aji's voice trailed off for a moment. Then, hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you call Professor Lee? He's an expert on Korean history. I'm sure he'd be glad to help you. I could call him first and tell him you want to talk to him. That'd be great, Aji, Kevin said. He was getting somewhere. He could just feel it. And he'd met Mr. Lee before, maybe at his grandparents' household, but a pretty nice guy. It seemed to Kevin that Korean people always made sure to meet each other when they lived in the same area. His parents knew just about every Korean family in Dorchester. He's probably at his office now. Ami put in. At the museum. He's a curator at the Arts and Culture Museum, you know, for the Asian collections. The museum. It was only a few blocks away. He and Archie could check out the exhibits to see if there was anything that might help them. And he could talk to Mr. Lee while they were there. Thanks, Aji and Ami. I'm sorry, I have to go. I'll see you this weekend. Thanks.
Bye.
Kevin hung up the phone and clenched one fist hard. He didn't pump it in the air. It wasn't a true victory, not yet. But he was on the right track.